But yeah, I hope you are feeling well and welcome. Just a little bit of numbers here, right? We are already more than 33,000 members, followers in LinkedIn, and this community is just keeping growing. So it's really nice that you are here for the first time. If you scan this QR code, you can follow us in many different platforms. We are in almost all. So yeah, who run the largest cluster? This is about Kubernetes. We started as a Kubernetes user group, and since this year, we pivoted for more AI. So we are now the KSUG.AI. Because everything is AI these days, and the clusters as well. So behind the scenes, all these AI stuffs run in Kubernetes. And you can say that we are the largest cluster because we have more than 108,000 people. He called nerds, but I just call people. They're normal. And we are expanding, right? We have here in APAC, EMEA, and America, and it is really, really nice to see these communities just keep growing. One of the events that we run in India had more than like 200 people in one event. It was crazy because India numbers, right? It's but yeah, welcome. And we really request you if you can take photos, share in the media. This folder here is for sharing the photos. So we will post all the photos that we are taking in this folder here. Please do not delete the photos. Delete if you don't like your face in the photo, but please don't delete them, okay? And feel free to download and upload them everywhere. Just check if I... Okay, yeah, here's the links. Okay, it's also send the message. Okay, so this is our agenda today. This is the welcome that I'm doing right now. We will have really mini masterclass, but I don't know why they call mini. It's for sure is a huge masterclass for Ashard and Shubham, and they are from Pathfinders, AI engineers. And I am Thiago. That yeah, applause. Yeah, thank you. Amazing, and they are really photogenic. So take pictures of them. And yeah, I will close with the second talk on 2025 was the year of the rise of agentic coding, and I believe this will connect that. I'm a cloud engineer. I work in DNX Solutions, a partner of AWS. Then, if you are a first time here, but if not your first time, you know that we have a quiz time. And the quiz time is to get the people engaged, and people who get the most will have some prize, okay? So if you stay in the top, you will get some prize. To finish, we have this group photo and segues, swags, okay? Thank you. I have some other slides that I need to go through. So this is our mission, is to empower the community to learn faster, certify smarter, and grow stronger. And you can always say, never pay the full price. So if you're gonna take a certification, ping us. We have we know some people. We are well connected. So this is a program that Yonka have introduced this year as well. It is people around the map that has become the AWS fully certified, right? And this is a community badge that Yonka has created. He is the first astronaut based on the Kube astronaut, that it is a Kubernetes certification, but this is for who got the both certifications on AWS and Kubernetes. We have a lot already. 18 strongers, Kube strongers join. And this is like how we can give it back to the community, right? These people are not just really expert in the field, but they also help posting, commenting, sharing content, and getting people motivated to go to this journey. And we cannot run this event without our volunteers. John Khan is not here today. Manny maybe is not here right now, but without them running everything in the back stage will not happen. And thank you, Nari. Thank you, yeah. Ricky is here as well. Yeah. And without sponsors will be more difficult as well. So a round of applause to Code Cloud, Pathfinder, AWS, and Qoder, please. Thank you. So I have this slide for the Academy. If you want to say about a few words, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity for this event again. So welcome everyone. It's nice to see you guys lovely faces here after the work in the afternoon. So please allow me a little time to introduce the JR Academy. So JR Academy was established in 2017 and has now expanded to Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Adelaide. We're proud to help held over 6,000 individuals successfully enter the Australian job market and secure high-paying desirable positions. So today, JR Academy, we have now more than 10,000 students and over 6,000 successful job offers, and also 600 plus global mentors from companies like Google, Amazon, and Atlassian. So we are also partnership with more than 500 companies. And also we have a company of over 100,000 social media followers. 10,000 social media followers. So this shows how deeply we are connected with both students and the tech industry. So we are a Australian IT bootcamp. And also our mission is simple: to help students and professionals launch their first tech job in Australia. So we provide a comprehensive career pathway from intensive bootcamps to real internship experience, and also to personalized job guidance and interview coaching. So at JR Academy, our bootcamp covers programming and development, and also the interview guidance, and also analysis communications on like business analyst, data analyst, UX, UI, QA, and also IT support. We also have career coaching, including resume polishing, mock interviews, and also job referrals. So beyond classes, we also value our community. JR Academy hosts more than 200 events online and offline, and at least 38 in-person events every year across the major Australian cities. And our students and committee is across all the big companies and also in the tech industry that relates to tech. So also our events hold like this help our students, mentor, and the companies connect together, and also building not just the skills, but also network and friendship. So finally, with JR Academy, it's one-time application, lifetime access. So our courses are updated multiple times a year to keep pace with the latest market need, ensuring you are always learning what the industry truly demands. So thanks again for the opportunity. I hope everyone enjoyed the night.
Thank you. Thank you, JR Academy. And yeah, please follow that in the socials as well, LinkedIn, and apply. This is a really great partnership that we are doing. I joined one of their events once, but it was in Mandarin.
Yeah.
Then I use the AI to transcribe in real time and understand what is going on. But that was really nice, and I really like their work as well. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit how we can help the community to get certified cheaper. This is the KSUG partnership with Code Cloud. If you don't know Code Cloud is the best online platform to learn cloud skills, and they keep you updating. I'm starting my journey in the cloud using Code Cloud as well. And if you use this code here, KSUG KK, you have up to 37% of discount. Right now, I believe they are still on Black Friday. If you lost the Black Friday, it was 50% off. So yeah, if this is the good chance to get a nice discount as well. And I believe here we have some other certification bundles that I believe Yonka wants to say something. Yeah, if you go to KSUG.AI, that is the link directly to that. This is a short link, kk.ksug.ai. And there is, as I mentioned before, if you follow us, you can get certifications, discounts around. And Yongkan, I believe he is doing every month a round of free vouchers. So keep an eye. And yeah, this is another thing. We can get these vouchers because another benefits that happens in the community is we have other people that donate the vouchers. And 16th of December, we will have one AWS voucher, 100% free, okay? And 3 Code Cloud access for 6 months, and 3 books from Packet. So since October, we have already 50 winners around this. It's a quite nice way of ending the year, right? Kind of a Christmas gift. Okay, so today we will have 1 Code Cloud access, 6 months, and other swags if any. I'm not sure if we have any right now, but we can get some. Okay, let's say just a little bit about code. I will save this for a little later, but if you want to know more about coding AI, and this is another IDE for developing and help you to develop, and it is really nice. I will have some showcases during my talk. Okay, so get an extra code. I will be back on this one, I believe, for later, so I believe we can stop from here. Oh, no, I clicking the wrong button. But no worries. I will give the stage for our first speakers of the night, Ashard and Shubham. Yeah, welcome. How do you receive the link to join?
Yeah, you're on the go.
Okay.
It's visible?
Yeah, that's
Lovely. Okay, thank you, Thiago. Should be fine. Sweet. All right. Welcome everyone to Accelerate with AI Developer Edition this time. My name is Shubham and I am accompanied with Ashard. We are both AI engineers at Pathfinder. And first thing is, who is Pathfinder?
I'll wait for you.
Thanks. Thank you. Pathfinder is an AI accelerator company that helps other companies understand and use AI better. Like we coach them, we teach them how to use like Claude, ChatGPT, and even Copilot. Basically, we show them what these tools are capable of. Now, we've been training a lot of companies lately. You can go to the next slide, right? Sweet. So the first question for the session, right? Who is an AI engineer? Years ago, the engineer would have to learn about models, how they are developed, like terrain neural networks, etc. Nowadays, it's as simple as learning how to make an API call in the right place. These models have already been created. Nobody needs to reinvent the wheel now. The large language models that ChatGPT came out with, firstly, have made AI engineering so much more easier. Now you just need to know where to put them right and how to structure them into your software process. Our introduction to AI engineering has been the same thing. And Ashar, you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. I'm just going to stand over here and speak. So our journey to AI engineering, I think it's pretty straightforward. So Shubham and I are both from a computer science background. We both did bachelor's in comp-sci, and then we went on to do our master's in IT. So we didn't really specialize in AI or anything like that. And our first introduction into AI engineering was an internship project we did with Pathfinder. So I have a quick demo of what we built for them. Let me just bring it up. Where is it? Yeah, so what this was is, okay, I'll explain what this platform is. So I have it all on my personal website, but I'm a bit too embarrassed to just bring that up. It doesn't look that great. So I'm just going to use the direct video link that I put. What we built was an AI document processing tool. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like a Form 80 document where you have to put in all your personal documents, your passport details and everything. And then there's a supporting documents. So all of that, your career history, your resume and everything are cross-verified against this Form 80. And that's a painstaking process. If there's a mismatch between your name, that gets flagged and then gets rejected. So what we built was a solution using Azure AI and ChatGPT, the API. So you can see here, UI is not that great. This was about a year ago. It's an internship project, so I think I should cut us some slack. So Form 80, upload, easy. And then you go ahead and give all your supporting documents, your education documents, your career, address verification docs. We're done with that. And then we go on to the processing. So we don't really have a really nice in progress bar. It's just a verifying thingy. After a while, you get the assessment outcome. And you can see here, like all the discrepancies that get flagged. We can see if there's a discrepancy between the passport sizes, any discrepancies in the education verifications and your passport. So when we first got this project, it looked really overwhelming because we didn't know where to get started. But I think what helped us to do it was just diving in, just not being afraid, asking the right questions. Okay, I'm gonna go back to slides. Okay, so over the course of this past year, at least, we've seen the dev landscape increasingly changing, and the rate at which it's changing is really impressive as well. So when we built this project, we were writing code line by line, but that doesn't really happen anymore. So we are using agentic coding tools, and we use that to write the code for us. So what this means is there's less barriers to entry. So when we were building solutions back then, we need to make sure that the developers are proficient in the language we're using, and all the tech stack as well. So that's a big concern, but we realized that is going away, and we are more focused on building, thinking about the system and the architecture. Fundamentals are still crucial. So if you don't know what the code is doing, you're going to mess up. So you can generate thousands of lines of code, and if you're not giving it a second look and just pushing it, something breaks, you're in trouble because you don't know where to look for. So doing comp sci, software engineering is still valid. You need to know the fundamentals. So like I mentioned earlier, what we do now is we architect and design first, and instead of going and writing the code line by line, we use agentic coding tools to do most of the code generation for us. So that brings us to the masterclass section of our presentation. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with Cursor, Cloud Code. We don't have a we don't have a set tool that we need to use. So we've been given the flexibility to pick what we want. I've stuck to Cursor. That's my personal preference. And Shubham's,
Cloud code for me.
he's a Cloud Code fanboy. So he's gonna walk us through that. I'm gonna show you guys a few tips and tricks on Cursor. I think you guys have to bear with me. Okay, awesome. So this is the Cursor environment. Yes, it looks overwhelming, but I'm just gonna walk you guys through it.
Only told the mic.
Nah, it's okay. Oh, good. Thanks, man. So it looks very, if you all are familiar with VS Code, it looks very similar. The file explorer on the left, and then you have your files in the middle, and the agent basically on the right. So I'd like to bring your attention to this window here. What you'd start with is, by default, it's on agent mode. But here's what I think a lot of the vibe coders and the actual software engineers or AI engineering would differ. Yeah.
The other screen still.
Which one?
Next screen.
Just in the share screen, yeah.
We are sharing the correct one now.
Just get rid of this line.
Why is this here?
Oh, it's all right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can see this here, Cursor right now is in agent mode, but I wouldn't recommend to start here. So if you give it your instructions to agent mode, it just goes off and builds things. But what?
Stop sharing.
Okay. Okay, so
You're not sharing, just share.
Mhm.
The entire desktop. Yeah, that's it.
better? Yeah?
We have some about 15 people online. So
Okay, yeah, I'm just not sure how it looks because I'm just confused on this. Okay, so plan mode. Plan mode is where you would want to start. So it's, as the name suggests, it lets you like plan the project that you're trying to build. Just for this particular session, I just had a interesting, like, I don't know, scenario happened to me in the morning. I went to Woolies, and I realized like there's this reward system. I don't know if you guys know. Every 2,000 points, you get like $10 off. And it's such a scam because you need to spend $1 to get like 1 point, unless you time it right and you get like a product that gives you like 100 or 2,000 points. Or like, no, I don't think you get 2,000, you get like 100 points, right? But I haven't been lucky with that. Like every time I go by, I get $1 and 1 point. So yeah, with that in mind, I just like one prompt, gave it, and I told it to build some things. I gave it the architecture, what I want to use. I gave it React for the front end, Shadsi, and for the front end stuff like the styling, and a simple Prisma database. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So this is essentially like one shot, like what you can achieve if you give it the correct architecture. And this was not like playing around with it, right? This was one shot. So you can see my macro targets. So what I told it was, I want to give you my calories and my macros. I want you to scrape the Woolies website, pull in everything. I see what rewards are maximized and what groceries are on like sale. Because I think Woolies runs a cycle with every 2 weeks where some of the products are half price. But if you don't time it right, you end up buying everything on full price all the time. So you can see here, you can just go in, generate your list, and then it'll give you the product list. This one, it works fine, but then you can see the update prices here. It doesn't really do anything. But the main reason that it was failing was I realized while it was building, it said it's going to use the Woolies internal API, which does not make sense because we don't have access to the Woolies API, right? So I've told it in plan mode, you're using the internal API to get your pricing information, which doesn't make sense. Find another approach. So that's in plan mode. And we can see the plan it generated, right? So this is where like an engineer would come in and look and see where you can course correct it. So you can see the problem. But I think I also did a fix on the way. We actually did that. But then it detected another issue where Woolies has a bot detection program. So if you try to scrape it, it blocks you off. So it picked that up and it's come up with a solution for you. So you can see that it's trying to use something called the stealth plugin. So this one will basically try to bypass that bot detection. So within plan mode, get your plan right, and then try see if everything is correct. And then you can see what task it's going to do. And then if you're happy with it, you can go build it, but you can talk to this as well and then modify it as you need. Top right, you see the build plan. You can select the model that you want to use. Max mode, if you guys don't give it, like, if you don't care about your budget, you can just turn on max mode and then it'll just burn through tokens. But yeah, I mean, for such a simple thing, I don't think you guys should use that. You can just go ahead and build it. That's tip number one, plan mode, but I try to elaborate on that because that's the most important one. The next one is within the chat window itself. Let me see. Agent mode. You can switch it back to agent. You can use Shift Tab to cycle through that. Is the context menu. So if you use the @ symbol, you can see a menu pop up, which you can access the file folders, you can access your branches and the browser directly. So if I want to bring in a particular file into the context window, the way you would do it is press @, and then, for example, I have a schema file from Prisma, and I can use this agent to build particular documentation and testing. So just for the sake of time, I ran the command earlier. As you can see, I asked it to create a mermaid diagram for my database schema. I don't think it's very clear because of the font and the background color, but you can see how you can pull in particular files that you need. That's tip number 2. And I think I had a bit more. And the next thing that I want to talk about is the context window. So this little circle at the bottom right that you see here is how many tokens it has used and what the context window that you have. This particular model has a 176,000 token like context window. this fills up pretty fast. So there are a few ways you can get around it. If you notice this context window filling up, if it's getting closer to like 80-70%, the model deteriorates. You'd see it making a lot of mistakes. So there's a few ways you can like get over that. So you can use the /summarize command. So what this does behind the scenes, it'll actually go through your entire conversation, summarize everything into bullet points, and then this will be essentially like summarize. It'll cut down on your context window, so it'll free up some context. The next thing is also related to context. So if you don't like to summarize, I think in terms of best practices, I would suggest you guys just use new chats or new conversations every time you want to build a new feature. I think that goes in general with a lot of the tools that we use. And I think something that's very unique, or it used to be unique until Google released anti-gravity, was the internal browser. So you have a browser button here. You can just directly open up your webs, like your product or the project that you're working on. And this is handy for the front-end developers out there. There is a element selector right there. So if you want, front-end development is very finicky. You change one padding and then everything goes off center. And then you have to spend like 10 hours trying to center the div. So you can select the exact element that you want, bring that into context, and then allow it, tell it to modify whatever you need. Okay, I think the final tip that I have for you guys with Cursor is like something that's not spoken about quite often, which is MCPs within Cursor itself. MCP is a hot topic, but within Cursor itself, probably not. I'll show you guys one that I use, which is so it's called the Context Server MCP. So what this does is the models are trained and they have a knowledge cut off. That means some of them are trained up to like maybe last month. And if you want to use the latest packages, you'd struggle because the LLM essentially does not have the knowledge for it. What we would do ourselves is Shubham and I would like go in, find the documentation, we'll find the exact page, copy the link, put it on here, and then just keep instructing it to use it. But it's just painful. So Context Server is exactly like what it does is it fetches the latest documentation. Yeah, you guys can see it. So this is their page. You can go in and install it. Easy to do. You can install the MCP server, and you can essentially use the use context server command, and you can give the library, and it'll pull in the context for you. Okay, I think I had one which had like an example. So if I wanted to implement routing with Next.js and I didn't have access to the documentation, this is how I would type it. I'd say, how do I implement routing in Next.js? And then I'd use the use context server instruction, and then it'll spin up the MCP server. You can see it has resolved and it's found the library. You can set this to run on auto, but then you can see it'll get the library from the server and then bring it into the context. One thing you need to keep in mind when you're using MCP servers within Cursor is the context bloat. Since it directly brings all the documentation into this particular chat window, you'd see this bloat up. But if you pay attention to it and then try to manage it and then make sure you find the exact file within MCP, like within the context server library, and bring that in, you would see yourself save a lot of context. Okay, I think that's about it.
Questions people ask in chat.
Yeah, okay, just become so. Oh, there's a lot. Okay, let's go. Shubham, is this built-in using built-in?
Can we get the actual links for the ones being presented in Qatar, or is it only for the reference?
The repo instance, as in the project that I just built, it's called rewards maxing. So okay, I mean, yes, it's just it's just like easy. I can definitely share it. But it's just built for the reference for this presentation. But yeah, easy to share. Then Shubham, is this built using paid? So we're demoing Cursor. So this one is paid. We're on the enterprise plan. So we've been I think I don't know, we've been playing around with it quite a bit,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about the pricing. Okay, what's the use case of an MCP server? So MCP server essentially like Cursor builds features really fast, but like for example, there's something called the
Sure. This is the chat window.
okay. Yeah, so what's the use of MCP, right? So essentially you can extend the behavior of Cursor, but Cursor is really fast anyway in terms of development. They use Cursor to develop Cursor. That's their motto behind it. So for example, this thing that you see here, which is agent review, what it does is it spins up an agent and does a code review for you. So this feature used to exist like as an external functionality. You'd have to install an MCP server or go into GitHub and do the agent review for you. But then Cursor has built it in right now. So the purpose of MCP is essentially just to extend the functionality that you see that Cursor probably has not implemented yet. Anything more? The next one is MCP. Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. I think, okay. So Shubham is going to dive into Cloud Code, which is a bit more interesting, I think. So go for it.
Okay, first question is, yeah, they're expensive, and we've been lucky is what I want to say, that working at Pathfinder, we've been given access to all of these latest and greatest agentic coding tools and asked to like just go out and explore, see what they're capable of doing. And yeah, so good thing is all these tools out there have a free tier.
Yep.
So if you guys are using them for the first time, you get a certain amount of tokens that are available and you can start playing around at that point. There are ways that you can save your money as well when you're using these, because let's be honest, they are pretty darn expensive. Is use plan mode, like Ashard mentioned, right?
Yep.
If you use plan mode, you aren't using too many tokens. Tokens is the currency of these agents. Use plan mode, get your plan ready, and once you have that ready, use a weaker model to build your solution. You can, when you select the models, stronger models can come up with a great plan. Now, building and coming up with a solution, the weaker models can still do it. So that's a little cost saving trick that I used to use before. Thankfully I don't need to use that now. Question, like how many of you use Claude Code? Any of you? Yeah. Lovely, lovely. I don't have a presentation as such to show because it's there on a terminal, and if you have VS Code, you can add it as an extension. And it's good enough that you just start talking to it. You know, you don't need to activate anything. Of course, it has plan mode in it. And my first step would be just start talking to it. We're on plan mode, come up with your plan, and then start building. Now, whilst you're in your plan mode, my tip number 2 would be ask it to ask you questions. These models are absolutely brilliant. They have or they know ways to come up with your solution in like maybe 10 more different ways better than the one that you thought is the right way. So make it ask you questions, showcase your ideas, ask it to like give a better solution, have a chat with it. Before you get into code, like maybe spend 10-15 minutes just talking to it. Now, tip number 3 would be, whenever you ask these agents to do something for you, they take their own sweet time, right? They take like 4 minutes, 5 minutes sometimes. What do you do in that time? Personally, I used to spend scrolling Instagram or TikTok, and that sucked, because that brain rot really gets you. Because you spend your entire day with these agents, and you give them a task, and then while they're working, you just open up your phone and waste time. Don't do that. What you can do instead is think of the next thing that you want to come up with. The agent already has context as to what you're building and what you're trying to achieve. So once you're working on one feature, you can start with the ideation of your next feature that you want to work on. So you're still in the game, you don't lose track of what's happening. And also you can see the agent working, so you know what files and everything are getting changed. So you're still locked in. What tip was that one?
I think 3 or 4.
Tip 5 or tip 4, perhaps. When you're designing these UI components, it's so difficult to get these agents to work the way you want them to, Like you see something cool in your website and you want to mimic that, and you try conveying that message to the agent like, hey, I want to, maybe you'll copy that div and paste it in the agent's chat and be like, can you mimic this for me? And it doesn't really work that way. What we found works perfectly well is sharing screenshots. Take an image of the feature or the div or UI component that you want to mimic and paste it in the chat and be like, mimic this for me. It will work 10 on 10. Honest, it's beautiful. Something important when working with agentic coding tools is an agent.md file. Like, they don't stress it enough, but Claude has been telling people to use that more lately. This agent.md file or Claude.md file in Claude Code's case is basically setting up the context for your project with the agent. So every time you start working on a new feature, you don't need to start with, hey, this is what I want to build, and these are the features that have already been implemented, and this is the UI style that I want you to follow. You can put all of that in that agent.md file. So whenever you start any conversation with your agent, it will reference that MD file first and then start talking to you. Yeah, like, am I missing anything?
I think you got most of them, yeah. And you have something for the cool person in the room.
Yeah, like Claude Code's another feature is you can host it. Once you connect it to your GitHub, you could host it on a terminal like AWS or anything else, and then use your phone or a Terminus app like that to SSH into that terminal and start coding on your phone. I wouldn't recommend that like on iPhone. But still, if you want to do that, if you really want to work with Claude Code, and it is great. Now, my trust in this is not like blind faith, right? I've been using this for the past 1.5 years. Even back when I was in uni, I was using it to like small code snippets, and we all done that. And the thing is, this trust in Claude Code has been built over time. Nowadays, I just tell it to develop functionalities for me and do the testing bit. Initially, I used to look at it code by code, line by line to make sure it's actually doing what I wanted to. Another thing is checking code, right? We have this development style called test-driven development. It's one of the OG software development principles where you write the test cases first and then write the code to satisfy those test cases. You can ask these agents to follow that style so that you don't need to test it. The agent itself will write the test cases for you first. Maybe you can use plan mode to design the test cases and then write code that satisfies them. So you know for a fact that the component that you're implementing works right because the test cases are passing. Sweet. Now, every single day, right? AI keeps on evolving. New features are coming out, new models, new features. How do you keep up with this huge AI noise? Ashard, what do you think?
Yes, okay. I'll just walk you guys through my process. I don't think I necessarily have like a very structured way of doing it, but there is some sense to the chaos that I have, right? One of them is using newsletters. So I think the number one source that I have is this newsletter called Alpha Signal. So what they do is they have daily news that summarizes everything into 5-minute insights. So it'll give you just the top 5 news. I'll see if I can bring one up after, but it'll just summarize everything into bullet points, and it's more developer centric. So it's easy for you guys to read as well, and it'll give you the total reading time, and usually it's like 2 to 3 minutes. Another one is ad hoc learning. So this is just making sure you're surrounded by the right type of content. So of course my Instagram and stuff has like the memes and all the brain rot, but I also have like a very intentional like approach to it where I follow these influencers who actually like provide value. And one of them is this guy called RPN. So he's really good. What he does is he does not waste people's time. Essentially, like if he comes across a new concept, like new tech news, what he does is he'll like compress everything into like a 1-minute video, give you the important insights. So he's really good. And another one is techbible.ai. So these guys, I think, across all YouTube, Instagram as well. So they're awesome. What else do we have for the other stuff? Okay, I think Shubham, you had a few tips of your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Essentially, what I do is I listen to Ashard, but what's important is the community that you surround yourself with. Now, you guys being a part of this community, it's amazing. You guys are getting together, we talk, other people talk, like you get ideas across, right? And our community at Pathfinder has been amazing. Every single day, everybody is like looking at one specific thing. Someone likes Copilot, somebody likes ChatGPT, someone likes Claude, and we share all the latest information that we find with each other. So, like that, if you surround yourself with people who are always active and researching, you always are up to date with everything without having you go into different websites and find that information for yourself, because that would be difficult. So, yeah, community matters. Like, surround yourself with people who are fascinated by you. And don't be scared to play around. Like, Cursor and like even Qoder, right? They have free tiers. Every single agentic coding tool out there wants people to start using them. N8N, Zapier, all of them have free tiers, or like the pro trial version for like 15 days. Use them. Use all the free tiers out there. You will learn so much about these different tools out there. Yeah, like that should get you up to speed with AI.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just add one more to that. I think there are a lot of generous free tiers. I think the main one that I want to point out is Gemini CLI. That's been free for the longest time. It has a million token window like context, and I think you guys just should get on it before they like put a paywall on it. So that's been really good, and I've been playing around with it in my free time as well. That's one. Yeah, I think the most important that we want to say is just start building, play around, just be curious. And I don't think you guys should be afraid of like all these fancy terms that's being thrown around, MCPs and all that. Like once you actually start playing around with it, they're not that complicated. They have a function, but you can just ignore the terminologies, at least until you get familiar with it. And yeah, just start building. Yeah, I think that wraps it up, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Open the floor for the questions.
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yep.
Good. So I was talking to Tony before as well, and I'm listening to you guys. Now you played around with a few AI tools, Cursor, Claude, Gemini, Copilot. Do you have a user case for each of them? What are they best at? Or would you say they are all like similar? If they have probably
So now Cursor would be for like you can talk about Cursor if you want.
Yes. Okay, I'll just like talk to that point. So within Cursor, you have access to a lot of different models. So you have access to the Google models, you have access to Anthropic and the OpenAI ones. And there are particular models that are like good at front end, software back end. I think right now, and this one's always changing. So right now, Gemini 3 is leading in terms of coding and math, and is really good at UI stuff as well. And I think it depends. Even within the models, you can pick. So it's not restricted to the agentic coding tool that itself, but it's more towards the model level. So if you wanna like a reasoning model, if you're like trying to think through architecture, you maybe use 5.1 with like very high reasoning, so it can talk you through the architecture. And one more thing is web search. I think most of the models have web search now, but previously we had to pick models that had web search, so you can like pick up a lot of the latest information.
Yeah, so like these tools, all of them, some of them, like Cursor has access to all the models out there. So whatever you want to build, you can just select the brain. But it actually, I think it boils down to personal preferences. Like you start talking to one particular model, you know how to talk to it. Like even if it's subconsciously, you know what you might say makes sense to the model and it might give you a good response. Like
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe that you have with the model. There's no such thing as this one model is good at one particular thing. Now, if you go away from the realms of coding, right? I would say Claude is good for coding, yes. But then if you look at Google's coding models that have come out, they are amazing at generating images and other things. So outside the realm of coding, yes, different models might have different purposes, but when it comes to coding, it's your own personal preference. Claude has been dialing down hard on coding. Like
outside of coding, any recommendations? Because most of the audience there, they're
Yeah.
made up to the
what do you guys might use it for?
Gen AI.
GenAI. What do you guys think? Now, we are the coders of Pathfinder team, so we have used these models essentially just for coding. When it comes to Gen AI, I think Gemini 3 would be the best option. Video generation or images, even vibe coding, like these guys even come up with ideas that we go ahead and bring life to later. But the initial genesis of the idea is done using these tools, which is Gemini and other ones. So they write code a prototype perhaps, and then we go and make sure all the edge cases are taken care of using these deeper coding models.
Gemini is getting a lot of focus, but it's just because it's like the latest launch and kind of exciting. But yeah,
No.
we're doing like the vibe coding possibilities with like Gemini 3 is like wild. But we keep going back to Claude also because Claude just has like a nice way of talking to you. We end up going back to Claude a lot. And then we always end up coming back to ChatGPT, but then like sometimes you get annoyed and just end up with another one. So it really is you do get a personal preference also, but they're changing constantly. Like it really is like you can see the race in real time.
There's also like the idea of like stringing different models for different purposes as well. So like I use GPT a lot for like complex problem solving or reasoning things, and then take that and start using that Google AI Studio now to turn up programs.
Yeah. Or you run out of context window in ChatGPT, so you put it in Gemini.
Any other questions? Yep. I like the UI. I like the UI. I like the UI understand. I don't like going up on them. So it's like again, personal preference, right? Like you like talking to a Linux system more, then you might prefer the terminal, but I like a UI that I can talk to and explain different conversations. I just like the UI better. Sorry, I think I got a question wrong. What is Yeah, you can put the photo there. So I'll need to connect my laptop, but there's a slash, right? You put a slash, then the options come in, and then you've just got attach. It will let you attach images and videos if you want. I've entered like entire PDF documents. So we have like a brand guidelines document that had all the UI design components in there. So I just gave Claude the PDF file and I told it to like create a Claude.md file based on that PDF. And it just read the PDF, created the UI design for itself. So you can put screenshots, you can put Excel sheets if you want to go crazy with it.
Good.
Yeah. We can use that as well. Back end. Yes, they can do both. Because I have developed an entire system with Claude, the UI and the backend API integration and the database as well, and the deployment code as well. So you can do the entire pipeline with it.
So you're using Qoder? Yeah, cursor.
No, I use Claude code all the way.
Desktop?
Desktop?
Yeah, that's the cloud desktop app or.
The
No,
cloud
no,
desktop,
no.
yeah.
Claude code is something that you integrate into VS Code. So Claude is different and Claude code is different. Build, yeah.
Yeah, my question is how you make use of it also. You just add open it, or you put turning on, right, on code.
I use that.
Which add?
VS Code's integration. It's an extension of VS Code.
Can I ask how the social page? Do you face any challenge with that?
Or the UI that Ashard created?
Yeah, the first one that.
Oh yeah, Ashard, did you face the challenge?
No, it wasn't because sorry guys. Okay, not really, because I actually like put a little bit of thought into it. So I gave it the architecture, like I mentioned, I gave it exactly what it needs to use. So I didn't give it a lot of room for error. In the sense, like I told you what tools it needs to use to build the front end, what particular tech stack for Next.js, ShadCN for the UI. So you can go off and build a lot of that on its own.
You have a good plan before you start.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. Always start off plan mode and then you can just build up from there.
Hey, and salve, Klaus. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, after this talk, I feel like maybe I shouldn't stop talking. But I will give a little bit on my view on that topic on coding, AI coding, right? I didn't prepare my slides myself because today we have AI. So I will share with you some things on AI that may help you outside of coding as well. But anyways, who is me, right? I believe you are maybe asking if you never see me. If this is the first time, I will just share my LinkedIn so you can find me on LinkedIn. Oh, sorry. I am an AI agent. Actually, this is not Flash, it's just synthetic stuff. So my name is Thiago Ramos. My handle is Thiago for Go. You will find me in GitHub and any other place. I started my journey using AI. Soon I became a developer. This was back in 2023. Yeah, 2023 was when I started developing. And this time, during that time, you have like copilots, right? Not copilot, GitHub copilots, autocomplete probably. This is how I started, and I feel like, wow, this is amazing. I was programming in PHP. I don't need to put a semicolon at the end of the line. Crazy, you know? Saved me a lot of time. After that, you have so many things that happens during these 2-3 years. And today I want to share a little bit on this topic that it is the agent coding. 2022-25 was the year of these tools. You have Claude, you have Cloud Code, you have Cursor, you have many other tools. Some tools are web browser, some tools is like CLI, some tools is integration of VS Code, and some other tools are just a fork of VS Code, right? Nobody really built something really from scratch. So I will share this one. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this tool that I'm using here. This is called Notebook LM. Notebook LM is from Google. It's free to use. Just create an account and go and to use. I have been using this. Let me show you. My first Notebook LM was September of 24. I was using that to get my first certification at AWS. So I use it to study. And until today, and many more features today, that will help me to study. So I will share this with you so you can scan this QR code to have access to this notebook. And I will not go through all the things in that notebook. You can play by yourself. That is mind map, that is presentations, audio overview, visual overview, quiz, anything, it's just crazy how much information you can process using these tools. Oh, good. So yeah, let me show you one of these things. One of these is this infographic. Have you tried to do an infographic this last month? Was not like this, right? Can you imagine? This is like a Gemini Nano Banana Pro building an infographic that there is no text error. Everything looks perfect. And this is just what is happening. Technology is moving so quickly, so fast, that it is really difficult to follow. But you don't need to follow. Just keep looking time at a time. If you something that didn't happen last week, maybe next week someone already fixed. So keep it trying. Today I will talk about this thing that it is spec-driven development and the AI-driven software development life cycle. So back in the day, you start by the code and you ask your building me this, building me that. And when it is a green field, it's really nice, it's easy, right? You are building from scratch, there is anything that is going to happen is okay. And if it is working, profits, right? But then imagine that you are enterprise and then you needed to maintain some code. You are not working alone in that code base. Probably if you are a software engineer, you know that you will not work alone in any code base. You will divide that, and this is where spec-driven development come in play. Most of these tools, I believe, Klein was one of the tools, I believe, Raw Code have developed that to build the documentation for giving more context to the LLM about the code, right? And this is really helpful. But these days, I believe Agent MD is one of the things that you give more personality for the agent. But you can write the specifications, and these specifications become the real source code. When you define the intent of what you want and you define exactly how you want that, you can keep that as guardrails, or sometimes they call steering files on some other things. There is this repo called also Copilot, and they have kind of a lot of files that you can use for spec drive development. And this is a new thing, right? It is AI drive development. Right now, I have been writing a line of code. No line of code. If I write a line of code, my boss will say, "What you are doing?" Like put AI to work. You have so many tools to put AI to work. So let's put AI to work. So this is one of the presentation. I have a mind map, as I told you. You can come here and check around what it is this software development, spec driven development. That is a bit different from test drive development or domain drive development. All of things is just the new way of working. And I want you to take a look on this, okay? So go there, play around, and if you click here, like just to show how this mind map works, if you click here and say, I want to know what to mitigate the AI context drift, you click, then it will go through all the sources that I have put here. It will ground that information in the sources, so it's not hallucinating. And another thing that it is nice, so let me put this a little bigger so everybody can see. Oops, too big. Yeah, a little less, okay. So after you do this one, you start. This is like a chat bot, right? Look, you're just asking about this. So I want to do some mitigation of this, and if you click in this, it will show you the source, what this coming from. So use this tool for like, you need to have some documentation, right? You want to learn, you can keep it here. You can change how it behave as well. Change the language if English is not your first language. But give you a look on this notebook LM. This is my presentation itself on the docs. I want to go a little more hands-on and show one of the new tools that I got to know yesterday. Okay, now the topic I have prepared a little bit early, but the tool that I'm gonna show today, I just learned this yesterday. So many of tools that exist today, this is another fork of the VS Code, and this one is built by one of the biggest clouds in the world. Not AWS, not Google, not Azure. Alibaba, yes, exactly, Alibaba. One of the biggest clouds of the world. Not in the Western world, right? But one of the biggest clouds on the world. And they just built this tool. And I want to show you something that I really found really amazing about this tool. So you can see there in the top that I'm about to clone one repo, right? What is that repo? VS Code. So VS Code is an open source project, and you can clone this, and you can build your own VS Code, right? There is this startup, I believe it is a joke, but it is called Shad IDE. So someone said that, but you are developing and you go to your TikTok. So they just integrate TikTok in your VS Code. So you don't even need it to change the screen. You can keep developing with your agent there and then check your stuff. So this is basically what it's doing, is already cloning. And one of these tools that they, at least what this has, is called this Repo Wiki. So it's a Wikipedia. Most of the things that people, not Wikipedia, but I found when I started working with the code, that what the developer hates to do is documentation. Hates. The code explains itself, right? This is the mantra, right? Read the code and it will explain. But if you are not writing the code, how you know that what the code is doing? This is a big challenge, right? And these days you can use other tools to go through your code base and, okay, let me explain this one, explain that one, but we have that problem of the context window, right? If you get something that is too huge, quite difficult, like VS Code here. I believe it will take time. I should have do this with another one, but I want to show what this tool can do. I will open another, maybe it's just the Wi-Fi that's not great. So I will open another window here with another code that I already do this. I just want to try with VS Code project, but let me open another project here that I did this. So it's quite similar. Everything looks really similar, right? You have, as a VS Code can be. I have done this, I believe, with some demo here. And I'm using Windows with WSL. Yeah, so here it create the content. So if I click here, it's already generated. Oh, it's just, gosh, it's the demo gods, okay? Sorry for that. Okay, so here we have the catalog. So what this catalog is doing is creating, okay, VS Code finally finished, but while VS Code is there, I want to do this then. So yeah, I will trust. Oops, I didn't trust. No problem, no problem. I will not run anything here. I just want to show those. So this is the VS Code code base, right? I will click here in this week, repo week, and I will click generate. It will take time because it will take and read all the files and send to some other place. Oh, this is empty. Okay, maybe because I did it the not trust, right? So let's trust this. Now I believe I can try again. Okay, now I'm again, let me just confirm if I'm the correct folder. Okay, I believe it's because I didn't clone in the VS Code. Okay, so it looks like it started. Was just a bit different. Because I'm using WSL, I have some problem with my Windows, my Ubuntu environment, and these tools you need to connect sometimes over there. So let's just get back here and I will show you what happens with one of these projects. So I have a project that I just cloned. Right now, I'm taking a look on this project called Ghost. I'm building a platform for mentoring, and this Ghost looks like a nice way of creating a content sharing platform that you can self-host. But I don't understand much about this, so I decided to clone. I could go there, read me, trying to install and do everything else, but I can just come here and now create this really nice documentation. Just let me get this. Yeah, so everyone can see, right? So again, the tool that I'm showing here is this repo week, and here is the table of content. So here we have the introduction, what it is Ghost, how is the architecture. It creates all these diagrams, nice diagrams, who want to go and see a little more. The front end, what it is, the shared libraries, what it is, these tools is using, how the application connect with this framework. And all of this was done by AI. You can just click one button and everything is there. You can have the tech stack, all the technology that it is using, how the React components work with the backend, the TypeScript, and everything else. So I was thinking when I start my journey as a developer, the company that I was working has this PHP code that was built in 2000 something. And there is no documentation. Back then there was no version control also. So I was like, they really love living in the edge. And if I have this kind of tool that you can just click and see what is going on, how did the JavaScript library, because it is using, right? It's PHP with jQuery and everything else go really crazy. And you need to debug that time after time. This kind of tool was like, wow, game change. So that's why I decided to show this tool. This is just one of the things that I believe they are, I would say, upfront. I heard that you can do the code-based indexing using, I believe it's Klein or other tools. So what it is going to do is indexing, if you're not familiar with this term, is you will embed all your code base so you can make it AI search about it easy. So yeah, this is one of the tools. I believe it's nice, right? I'm not sure. I didn't read everything, but just to have these visuals and all the texts relating to what part it is doing what, how the testing working here, and this is all related to the code. I don't think it created this. I mean, there is no documentation in here in these text files that give all that information. So it really goes through all the coding, the code here, and generate that documentation. So give it a try. Right now, it's free to use for the first month. Oops. And that's why I had to stop sharing that here, because I want you to take a look on this one. This is called Qoder. So you can use that link. We are partnering with them a little bit they are supporting us. And I was like, yeah, another tool, right? Just another tool, but let's give it a try. And this is it. If you get here, you can get up to 1,000 credits to use and help me to review, optimize this code base. You will receive another 300 credit. And I believe they launched this in September. So not so long ago. And they got to 100,000 developers using the tool in 5 days. So yeah, China numbers, right? Another thing that you can just say something. Yeah, it's just one neighbor and they got all of this. But yeah, take a look on this. They are looking for ambassadors as well to have to help how to say, to help promote this new brand. But I was like, oh, let me give it a try, right? I'm using different tools as well. I have my favorites these days. It's Kiro, but it's similar. But another thing that these do is the question mode. So you can go to question mode and you can start a task, ask something, it will do and test. They show us, they give us a repo here called Agentic Code Durability Evaluation Test Set. So here is just some code base that you can clone and test. And if you want to go to this one, this is the QR code. So this is the QR code for the testing benchmark that they have used. So I can do this with you, Joe. I was just trying to see how it works on, imagine that you want to fork your VS Code and launch your own. Have your own, right? That is this really nice build your own X. Now you can build your own X with AI. So let me take one of this code here, like a Reacted JS demo. And what it say is you can just clone this. Let me open another one here, just a moment. I have done this before, but bear with me. React. Oh, sorry, I still use a Qoder because I need to open the VS Code. Wrong choice. It's Qoder. Okay, so let's see what they ask us to do as a demo. I'm just coded this, and there is this prompt in here, prompt MD. It's saying, take this prompt, copy this, go to the quest, new task, and paste. So let me just make it a bit bigger. I'm not sure exactly what, too big again. I'm not sure exactly sure what this code base does, but let's give it a try. So it said to implement a color conversion component that convert RGB colors to X format. If you're not familiar, It's okay, not the end of the world. The component page has a button that when clicked, display a dialog for three input box that entering RGB values respectively. Click the conversion button and the corresponding X value start with a hash will appear in the dialog. So it's just creating a new feature, right? Let's give it a try. And while this is given a try, the way that it's work, we will design and it will create all the spec drive development that we have talked about. So we start with a vibe coding short sentence, but then it will go through all the repo, create a design, reading the everything else, create an action flow, and then if you are okay with that, you can just execute. So this is kind of, how to say, is a heavy opinionated way of working with these tools, but the spec drive development and the AI drive development is not like this. The idea is that you build with your company and your team what it is the best practice that you want to do in that code base. Because otherwise, you are just following the opinionated version of another tool. Okay, let's give this a try. While it's doing that, I want to see if the documentation for VS Code has finished. Is this VS Code? No. Okay, I'm not sure. And hide this. Yeah, this is VS Code. Okay, yeah, it's still processing. You can see that it will take a bit of time, right? It is 3 of 48 files, 6%, so it will take a bit of time. But what it has done is already has done. So it divide here, what is the core architecture, how the event driver system works. So this is a thing, like I believe Akash was telling me, they are using Cursor to build Cursor, right?
Yeah.
Because they can process all this data, getting everything, and then really going as specific where they want and make the changes and improve the system. And this is really amazing. That people from Cursor is just nuts. They are young, right? They're just some teenagers decided to build some really amazing tool. Okay, while this is doing, I want to share one thing that I went to a talk in New Zealand beginning of the year, about April, and a guy shared with me one thing that I believe is worth sharing with you too. So where it is here? No, here. Okay, I have it downloaded, so just a moment. Okay, so this was a presentation from VP from AWS, and he was saying, what happens with the developer? The developer has spent a lot of time sitting, eating the books, typing a lot, becoming like you can type 300 per second, right? Like crazy stuff. But now this skill is not more relevant. AI can type much faster than you even can imagine. So where is the point for the new skills? Is the creativity. So you need to keep being creativity. Go walk, go do something that you never done. One class of innovation that I had back in the business school, try to brush your teeth with a different hand. This is something that will make some different connections in your brain, and you can maybe become a little more creative. Not difficult, right? But have a try. You will do like this. You are doing like this, and then you are like, oh no, I got back to the because you have this connection so much done in your brain that you needed to change a little bit. Abstraction skills, not even say, you are abstracting. The layer of abstraction that we come from coding to this, that is intent, is really huge. We are jumping from machine learning, assembly, then you have language, and now you have natural language. So the level of abstraction is really huge. And the third and the superpower will be the empathy. Machines don't have feelings. No matter how much you love your girlfriend AI. They don't have feelings. Sorry. The machine don't have feelings. It's just a silicon there. It was a stone. It still is a stone. It is not have its own feelings. So the empathy for it will be the superpower. Okay, if you want to be empathy with the robots, I believe is important. And I didn't say ChatGPT, sorry for that, if you're listening. Because this is right. It is one person to another person. This will be the superpower, especially when you are working a team. You need to understand that people have this different way of thinking, different way of seeing the world. Everyone has a different experience. And the better you have empathy, the better you'll be successful. Then look to the future. AI will not be just coding, right? 2020s, we did a lot of coding. We really type and have tabs. Nobody uses tabs, right? Nobody uses tabs anymore. Why you are typing? To AI as a partnership. AI will be really there. Code less, think more. Use AI to really argumentate with you. I always started with, okay, let's brainstorm something. What is the tool? What is the best tool? Why doing this way? And then you let the AI do the thing. And I believe next year will be the year of the robots. The robots is coming, you know? They are coming. Be aware. Okay, so let's just see if the demo has finished. I believe this one. So you can accept the design. Once the design is accepted, it will go to the action flow, I believe. Yeah, so you can see that it is built a lot of documentation to start. That's really important because how LLM works is it tries to predict the next word based on the previous word. So if you have all these contexts and then you start, it will be much better than start some way, having different words in there. This is how it is doing, and then now it will take that design and create the actions. So it's basically that. Now, the actions that will be built already have a lot of context, and then it will be better. It's kind of a prompt improvement. You are always improving the prompt that improve the prompt that improve the prompt, and then go for the action. I believe this is what I have to say today, and what it is. Yeah, sorry. I have maybe one more slides. No, that's it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do you have the quiz? Slido? No? Well, I believe Yonkan has done the slides. Okay, so first, anyone has have any questions? I'm here to. Yes?
Yeah, that tool you showed to us about the documentation, is really interesting tool, but I can see that they talk more about business the architecture side of the code. If you're going to use it to understand the code, your first thing, can you help us?
Yeah. Actually, the explanation is not just business, it's really about the code. So if we go back here, so this is VS Code is still processing. Let me get the one that has finished before. So like this one.
I think that's the code stuff.
Yeah, so you have all the framework API reference, and then here you have the architecture of that, and then you can go for the hooks. Oops, this is trying to go to the link is broken, but here you can understand how is this one is the calling of the API call. So you understand what it is requesting, where it is the response from that, and that is really helpful to debugging any code. And I believe they have done, at least from what I was looking at, it has also the code itself, like kind of a fluxogram of the code. Let me see if it has maybe here. Setting, architecture. Yeah. This is overview, core components. And I found interesting, like here you have the code, right? So this part of the code, it's I'm not totally familiar with this code, but you can see that from here, these functions is using that function, that use that, and use that, and then you can go deeper in the code.
Okay.
A bit easier than trying to understand it just reading the code, right? Sometimes if you're a developer, you know that it's just a function calling maybe another function that has a class, and to understand that you need to go open a file, open another file, and if this at least save a bit of time, and I think that is nice. It actually gives you the reference. I believe it say where it is, right? The source. So I don't know why here okay. It's because I have created this inside this and it get the G with the wrong. So if you go here, apps, admin X settings, source, and the app, this is exactly where the code is. And then you can take a look on, okay, now I saw the diagram, I understand a little bit more how it works. You can go and go deep in the code. Okay? Yep. Yes?
Does this tool send the source code to internet to a remote server?
Yes.
So basically, your source code will be exposed to.
Exactly. Hopefully,
But most of the company, they don't.
yeah, I understand. And this is really a concern for a lot of companies. And that's why if you understand how this was built, it's just saying it's a code, asking for understanding, sending back. And nowadays you can have different tools. I believe Cursor has that. You can set your own private endpoint, and you can set and use that. Like AWS on Bedrock, you can serve a model, even the closed source model, in your own network, basically. But I believe in the future we will have more local AI and having this code not sent through the internet, because this is a really concern, right? You're sending all the code and get back. And this is pretty sure, you know, that if the tool is free, the product is you, right? In this case, the product is your code. Who is paying is with your code. Yes?
That's technical diagram is generated by AI or designed by you.
No, everything was done by AI. I just clicked one button with
The view order, I think
Sorry?
you generate ChatGPT or like.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I forgot the name of the model that Alibaba has. I'm not sure if it's Quan or any other. I don't remember exactly the name. But it is using model from Alibaba, and we are sent to Alibaba Cloud going back. Yes.
Yeah, since I'm not like too proficient with the tech data yet, so my question is more like confirming my understanding on your like sharing. Is it did you just like use REST code to achieve the like the detailed documentation of the code? And like how do you like actually like upload the code to the terminal? Because I'm not sure if it's Qoder or like REST code. So it's like did you guys look kind of the same yet?
Oh yeah, the VS, this is a fork of VS Code. So VS Code is an open source project from Microsoft, and you can fork that and make the change that you want. So what they did is they created this. In VS Code, you can add some add-on plugins, right?
Yeah.
This is really similar to a plugin. So they just added this plugin, and when I click there, it did exactly that, right? So I click in this plugin, and this plugin is the Week, and it click here to generate. And if you have changed anything in the code base itself, you can click again here and synchronize. It will update the documentation.
How does it with the code base that you upload?
Oh yeah, the code base is just here. It was this is so this one.
Oh yeah, so it just under like certain you just like read it using REST code.
Yes, it will get the files, send it to the internet, process somewhere, and give me back the documentation.
Yeah, but it's like not like deployed locally. It's still like gotta go through like Alibaba's cloud.
Yes, for sure. This is going to Alibaba Cloud and going back and forth. If I disconnect from the internet, it will not work. Okay. Okay, one last question, and that's it.
You Going forward, the documentation and everything through AI. If at any point it started hallucinating, how do you know what that comes from? How you thinking?
Well, you need to go to the documentation, check if it is correct or not, right?
How would you know if you're not a
Well, then you go back 2 steps and try to do this like the old days, right? You take this, take a unit test, try to run. And this is another thing that I would like to say. Today we are using AI agents, and usually what we do is we ask in one window, one chat, build something, test that thing, we deploy that thing. And what happens is AI become really lazy because they are building on us, right? So my workflow these days is I use one to define, I use another with agents, definition agent, right? You have a system prompt to test, and then you have another one to really deploy, because otherwise it happens a lot with me before. I say, yeah, do the test to this. Oh, the test is not passing. If I comment this out, now it's passing. Yay! Didn't work, right? So that's the way of doing it, I believe, is that you have a multi-agent systems to build and test it and have everything correct. Okay, thank you. Thank you again, everyone.
Perfect slide.
Yeah. Sorry, Slido? On the WhatsApp. Let me just stop sharing for a minute. We didn't create the quiz. Just go back to the slide to encourage you to fill out the form we created. Okay. That's fine. Okay, sorry for that. We had some issues. Our quiz system that we used until last time, now it's offline. So I will ask you to, sorry, let me see, to fill a form. Yeah. So, okay. I thought that I had stopped sharing my screen. I just stopped sharing my screen in the Zoom. Okay. But today everybody read there, right? John can say that it is, we don't have the quiz right now. So let's go back to the slide 2, and we will do the back old days. Is this one, Yonka?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, okay, this is correct. So have you hear his voice? So yeah, please, guys, fill this form. This is the feedback form. I will get the name and I will do the wheel of luck, the luck of wheel. And this is really like back old days. One of the first events that I come from KSUG was like that. We didn't have the quiz. We have just a form. And then there is this wheel of names that we can put there. And the lucky one will receive 6 months access to the Code Cloud. Code Cloud AI. This is really, really great. I even will share a little bit about more of Code Cloud. Let me share these all. We still have Cyber Monday 50% off. So this is called Cloud Platform, and one thing that I really like here is the playgrounds. So you know when you are starting your journey, learning something, and then you need to set up an AWS account. If you have Code Cloud, you can spin up an AWS environment, you can spin up an Azure environment, a Google environment, and play around with this. Even with the AI tools that we have here, have you tried NHN, AI Codex, Qoder, MCPs? So all this here is a playground. You click, it will give you access for, in this case, 1 week, Cloud Code, AI Assistant. You can launch now, and probably will show a API key that I shouldn't be showing, but that's the idea, no? You start the playground, and that is the beauty and for this community, because Code Cloud is a global community, and they can do this because they got really, really nice deals. So give it a try. Today, the lucky winner will receive 6-month access of this platform. And still today, they still on Cyber Monday promotion, 50% off. I really recommend you to go there. Let me just check here if we got the form. Yeah. And I may have access. I don't have access.
So Thiago, we will draw the names later and inform the winners via email.
Yeah, and my battery is going out.
No, yeah, we're not going to draw now. I also need to log in. So we will do we will draw the winner in the later, inform by email. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have access to the form. Okay. So sorry for that. We cannot do it live right now. You can needs to get that, but if you have registered and put the name, he will run that and will inform you by mail. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a photo picture. Photo picture, group picture. Photo picture is the same thing. Okay. Oops. Yep. Thank you. Okay, come here. Come in the front. Can you take a picture, Rick? Thank you. Come here, come over here. Rick will take a picture for us.
Yeah. Mátalo.
Three, two, 1. Woo! I see the picture. Let's do it. Yeah, everybody. Celebrating.